Are we live?
I'm looking.
Are we live?
I'm looking. I hit the red button.
I mean, it says we are,
Yeah.
but we don't know.
I might be able to lie.
We're live. Two people watching.
Go live now.
You're live. It's me.
You're live now.
We're live.
You're live.
You're live.
I'd like to appreciate and thank everybody for coming out. This is something that we've kind of talked about the last couple of weeks doing, kind of having like a media day preview, if you will. We've got the guys from the High Force Sports Network out here with a few questions to ask. But I just want to say a few things talking about the guys getting ready, obviously, for the Jamboree tomorrow and then the season next week. I think we've got another good group that works hard, guys. They come out every day. They get after it in the weight room and on the field. So I think that's a testament to everything we do. We've got a bunch of high-character kids that they're just going to come out and give you everything they got, which is great. That's what we want, and it's a good bunch to coach, so I'm proud of that. I think that bunch last year that we had kind of set the tone for this bunch and set the culture, and now we're just kind of feeding off of it each and every day, which is a good thing. We've worked hard all off season. Like I said, we're getting ready for the Jamboree tomorrow and then crank things off next week. We've had to deal with a few heat issues this week. That's been rough. We've had to make do with our practice schedule. We've been on the field using breaks. We've been in the gym. We've just been doing a little bit of everything. We even lined up and did some offense in the locker room one day this week just so we could get some reps in. And the good thing about that is, it's hard when you kind of change your everyday thing, but I think the guys have really responded. They stayed locked in no matter where we were at and just kind of went with it. And that's a testament to, the culture that we've set and the leadership that we have on this team. So I'm going to open it up to questions. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and watching us and supporting us this year. Tomorrow, like I said, the Jamboree, so come on out for it. We're going to have a full concession stand, $10 admission, and we've got 3 pretty good games starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm going to open up for any questions.
You talked a little bit about last year's team there, setting the standard. Where do you think this team has improved over last year?
That's a tough one. I don't know that I would use the word improve. I think I would use the word maintained. I feel as if that bunch last year set a huge baseline of what we want our program to be run like. And in terms of a collection of guys, I don't know that we'll match that in terms of leadership, maybe ever. But I think that our guys are right there with this bunch. I think that's the biggest thing. We don't want to see the drop off, and I don't think we have. So, we've still got a long way to go. It's a long season, and there's highs and there's lows. You guys know that. But the thing about last year's bunch, they were never too high and never too low. So that's the next step in this year's team. Can they follow that same thing when the going gets tough? Can they stay even keel? And I think we've got a good foundation, but I want to see a little bit more of that.
My question is very similar. What do you think the identity will end up being of this year's team?
You hear a lot, and I think you guys have heard it. I've heard it in town, and people have texted me or whatever. Drew Ray's not here anymore. That doesn't mean we're going to quit running the football. We're gonna win the line of scrimmage on offense, and we're gonna win the line of scrimmage on defense every single day. That's our mentality, and that's our identity. So just because Drew Ray's not walking through that door does not mean we're not going to run the football first. So that's our identity. Everybody knows it. We're going to run buck sweep, and that's our bread and butter, and we're going to feed off of that. And yeah, Drew Ray's not walking through that door, and that's okay, because I think we've got 3 pretty darn good running backs that are going to each of them going to pick up that load that he had from last year.
Have you had any players that have really stood out this offseason?
Oh, that's a tough one. You don't want to single anybody out, but one guy that I think that has stepped up and improved a whole lot would be Riley Stevens. He was kind of a guy last year that was, he was just kind of part of the team, a practice player, stuff like that. And now, I look up and I think he's on every special teams we got. He rolls in at linebacker. I've put him at H-back some. He's played receiver some. So he's kind of just a do-it-all kid, and he just works. And you guys know that'll get you on the field. So I would say him. Pinkley, he's a kid. He wasn't in our program last year. He was in our program, I think, as a sophomore. And he's come back, and he's kind of the same way. You don't ever know he's in the room, but he works his butt off, and he's probably going to be starting for us on Friday nights as well. So two guys right there that really have stood out to us, I think, that have made a big improvement in the last couple of years.
What makes, you talk about this group, and talk about, we asked about areas to improve and different players. How is this group different from other groups you've coached?
Well, every team's different. That one's tough. You've got a lot of different mentalities in the locker room. You've got a lot of different attitudes, stuff like that. So you've got to find a way to kind of corral each of those without holding them down, if you will. So I don't know. I just think this year's bunch, what kind of separates them is they've got a little chip on their shoulder because of what everybody talked about last year. You look in the running back room, Drew Ray's not there. That really pisses those guys off because everybody wants to talk about Drew Ray. And it's nothing against Drew Ray, but those three back there are pretty darn good. I'd talk about Knox Rainey a lot, but I truly believe that kid wants to be great. And he works it every single day. I truly believe that. And so it kind of makes him mad when we say, hey, we ain't got Drew Ray no more. So I think that kind of mindset kind of carries over to our whole football team. And then, we've got our best leader on the football field, which is Kobe Feidinger. And we come up this offseason, and we talked about it in the coach's show during media day, but that sucker last year in varsity, when varsity played, he missed one play. That's offense, defense, and special teams. He missed one play. He cramped up, came to the sideline, got stretched out, got a shot of the right stuff, and went right back out there. And that was all year. And so those guys, they feed off of that. They want to be out there. They want to give us everything they got because their leader is doing that. So I think that kind of is the mold of our bunch this time.
Coming into a new year, how much emphasis do you put on self-scouting as opposed to opponent scouting?
During the off season, it's all about self-scouting. And, you may not want to hear this, and I don't really care. I don't look at anybody during a scrimmage. I haven't watched a single ounce of film on Waynesboro, who we play tomorrow night in the Jamboree. I didn't watch an ounce on Camden, and I didn't watch any on CA prior to that because it's all about us. To me, our job is to get us right and then prepare for that first game, which is James Lawson. These are just roadblocks, if you will. So, yeah, it's all about self-scout with us. And right or wrong, I don't know, but that's how we run it here. We search all off season about what can we do for us, not about the other teams. That's a good question. Now, in season, yeah, it's obviously a little different. We're probably, we watch a lot of film. My defensive coordinator watches a whole lot of film on the other teams to dive into what they're going to do and all of that. So we use a lot of that during the season, but in terms of preseason, not at all.
What's the quarterback competition look like? Have you named a starter? We got to talk about it.
The question, this is the only question I knew was coming just because that's what everybody wants to know. Who's going to play quarterback? Whoever goes out there tomorrow night will go out there tomorrow night. But that don't mean they'll go out there next Friday. We don't have one yet. I'm just going to be honest.
So the competition's
Still going. We got to make a decision at some point. But last week in the scrimmage, they both played a lot, and they both had a heck of a game, I thought. So it's still ongoing. To answer your question, I guess. You didn't like that answer, did you?
Do what?
My media guys didn't like that answer too well.
No, it was no.
I tell you who's going to play quarterback. It's going to be Brody.
It's gonna be broke.
Okay.
All right. Before we get into
Breaking news. You can write that down.
before we get into the offensive coordinator part of this, what's you were successful last season. What is one area you have to improve on to meet your goals this year?
I would say offensive line play. I think, and I go back to Drew again, I think he created a lot of things in the backfield to get back to the line of scrimmage sometimes like that. So I think offensive line play is our biggest thing. The good thing is I think right now that's probably one of our strengths. That's been an emphasis. We actually got a little bit of depth there, which is good. Same thing on the D-line. We've got a little bit of depth. But, yeah, I would say O-line. I think we were phenomenal last year running the ball. But we had a few deficiencies that you probably didn't see up close and personal because we were so successful with the guy behind them.
As a head coach, do you enjoy reading preseason reports?
No.
And prognostication?
No, I'm
That's an honest answer.
yeah, I really don't look at that stuff unless one of my coaches send it in a group message, or something like that. We'll talk about it in our group message, for a couple minutes. I think there was one sent. Y'all can help me. I don't know. It's probably sent about a month ago, and I think we were finishing like 6th or 7th, something like that. Y'all, yeah. So that's about all I've seen. I don't get on Coach T like some people used to. I don't get on the Twitter and check all that. I don't really care.
Well, I got a follow-up to that, and that would be, do you ever use it for bulletin board material? If so.
And I will use that. Yeah.
So if I see
I did save the one that the coaches sent for that reason alone. We're gonna put it in the locker room and stuff like that. Absolutely. There's always a little motivation behind some of that stuff, and it motivates me because, I didn't come here to finish 7th in the region.
Right.
If you want to give Coach Clayton a shot and then come back to you for talk a little bit offense. And
That sounds great. Any other questions? Anybody else?
We're ready for defense.
Thank you.
I'm Coach Clayton, defensive coordinator, Lewis County High School, 2nd year. What you got for me? By the way, I'm not very good at interviews, so this should be fun.
Just what I've seen in practice so far, it looked like y'all built a lot of quality depth along the defensive line. And can you talk about where you would like to be depth-wise? Last year seemed like about the same 4 guys up front.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a little more bodies than that this year.
Yes, our defensive line, 2 coaches, Coach Churchman and Coach Farr, have done a great job, man. They roll them guys every single series they're putting guys in. And they come up and ask me, is that okay? I'm like, absolutely. Throw them in there, man. Get them in there as long as there's no drop-off. And right now, we've got two different sets that just come in and roll in. I think we've got 6 different guys we've been rolling in. And there's not been a drop-off anywhere. I love having the ability because we have so many guys going 2 ways. And at some point, they're going to have a break, especially in this heat when we play next Friday night. They're going to have a break. And so we've got a lot of depth there at defensive line. I think it was last Saturday I was watching film from our Camden game, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, who is that on the defensive line? Because I couldn't even tell because they were rolling so many guys. And last year we were limited we didn't really sub anybody last year. I mean, unless somebody got hurt, that's the only time we sub. But we do have a lot of depth up there this year. And honestly, coming into the year, I wasn't sure how much depth we were going to have. But they've rolled them in, they've practiced them hard, and they've done a good job, done a great job.
Who's going to be some of your impact players on defense?
Man, man, obviously, you look at Kobe Cates, number one. I mean, the kid's played for 3 years now. We've moved him positions a little bit this year. He figured that out pretty fast. I mean, everybody recognizes him coming off the edge. You've got Braden Cooper there, middle linebacker. I mean, he's a big body. When he comes downhill, he's gonna knock your head off. Gavin Coker, everybody looks at him and thinks, man, he's small. I dare you to run to him. I mean, go at him. He loves it. He's going to make some tackles. And then obviously, we got our outside linebackers. We're still trying to figure out who's going to be there. We've got a few different options. But then we moved Kobe Feitinger to free safety this summer. And that was probably the best thing we've ever done. Because last week, and I don't want to talk about Kobe all the time, but I mean, last week there was a play the quarterback handed the ball off in the backfield, and Kobe makes the tackle in the backfield. So we moved him to free safety, and that dude is all over the field. And so I don't know what that sound is, but now I'm in an interview. I'm sorry. So I forgot. So yeah, Kobe. I mean, we should have a lot of impact guys. John Adams, he's going to be a new name this year. He was hurt last year. He's going to be a name you're going to hear a lot. But along that defensive line, you're going to hear a lot of names. So we got several different ones. We're looking forward to it. Got a lot of guys that played a lot of football, but we still got to fix a few things here and there.
What's good defensive football look like in your system?
Well, in my system, I love to shut people down. So, I know y'all talk to me all the time about I don't blitz enough, and so I don't really like to blitz. So I like to be able to blitz when I want to, not when we have to. And so I think I went back and run the numbers last year. I was a little bit below 10%, maybe even less than that on blitzing. So I didn't blitz a whole lot. And the reason it went up was because of the Lexington game. Because I started blitzing towards the end of the game, and then in the Huntington game a little bit, we blitzed some. But so my percentage is probably, if we take them 2 games out, we're probably sitting about 5% blitz. So my idea of a defense is if we can stop you without sending guys, you're in trouble when I do. And so that's where I feel like we're successful, when we can stop you with the 4 guys with their hands in the ground and then the 2 middle linebackers.
Coach Bryson McDonald, High Four Sports Network. Do you feel like you don't blitz enough sometimes?
That would be what Ronnie Eisner tells me. He would tell me every Monday after the fact I don't blitz enough. So
You think you'll be able to get to the quarterback?
I think we're going to get there. I think we can get there without blitz. We got there last year without it. But when we do, it's coming. So.
A few weeks ago, I was here for a lineman competition.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys really dominated in the weightlifting. How much impact is that going to have on this year's team with their strength gain?
Man, that's going to be everything. That's going to be everything. I mean, I don't think we had 2 lineman competitions this summer. We had one here and one at Richland the very next night, and we dominated everybody with the exception of Columbia Central. So our guys are strong. Our guys are. I mean, John Adams can lift a house. You've got Cates, who's strong. You've got Clay Jackson in there, who's turned on this summer. You keep going down the line of our guys. The strength is going to help tremendously because they can get off of blocks and they can put people where we need to put them. And so it's unreal. Our weight program, the last probably 4 years we've been doing this weight program, has took off tremendously. I mean, everybody's numbers are flying through the roof at a much higher rate than what we've seen before. And so it's really good stuff that we've been doing, which proves that our weight room stuff, and we tell our kids all the time, it's a direct impact of how hard you're working in the weight room because our program's working too. And so, I mean, the strength just along the defensive line is going to help. Like I said, John Adams could probably bench press anybody off of him that's out there in front of him. So.
You mentioned John Adams. Who's another newcomer that has surprised you this year? Not that John Adams surprised you, but
yeah.
He was injured a lot last year as a freshman, correct?
Correct. He was injured a bunch. I mean, he got injured in the first scrimmage.
Yeah, but who are some newcomers that have kind of surprised you this year?
Well, I mean, you're looking at you're looking at Pinkley just like he is on offense. He comes in on defense. He's long. He's lanky. He gets off the field. Not off the field. He gets off the ball. And, he'll do what you ask him to do. He's a tough kid. I think he's got a broke finger right now. But we asked him the other day, did you go to the doctor? No. So Pinkley's going to be a newcomer on the field. You look at Brett Odom, who's come back to us now. He played his freshman and sophomore year. He's back. He's going to get a lot of playing time on defense. Right now, Sean Lewis is going to be an outside linebacker for us, and he's going to be a newcomer that's, outside linebacker, and we've talked about this for years, is a very, very important position in our defense. And so with him out there at outside linebacker, it's going to help. He's going to be a newcomer once he starts to figure it out a little bit, but he's been in it for 3 years, so he's starting to figure it out. But those are the big ones. Corday is, he played some last year, but he's going to be starting full-time at corner. And then I'm thinking, did I miss anybody on the defensive front there? I'm sure I did. I apologize if I didn't. Some freshmen, you got a few freshmen that'll hop in here and there. So those are the newcomers we got that are going to play a lot of football.
We're through with you.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Hope you come out. Maybe we can talk Waynesboro's coach. Do I? Maybe we can talk Waynesboro's coach into getting us on the schedule. That would be great because that's a big money game. Also, concession stand tomorrow night, as Coach Eisner mentioned. We're going to have barbecue sandwiches, hot dogs. We're going to have pizza, popcorn, chips, candy, all that good stuff. And Ooh La La will be here as well, selling snow cones. So come on out. Looking forward to a great night tomorrow night. First Jamboree we've ever hosted, so as far as I know. We're going to go with it. First Jamboree we've ever hosted, okay? All right, so we're looking forward to it. Hope to see a big crowd here tomorrow night. I hope to make this an annual thing, hosting the Jamboree here at Lewis County High School.
Let's go.
Carly?
Coach? Who? Newcomer of the year.
We got. I'm Coach Colley. New here this year. I've been with the middle school for the last 2 years. Coach Eisner asked me to come aboard this year, and I'm glad to be here. First question.
As a first-year coach, what's it like to return to your alma mater to coach?
Oh, it's special. It feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it's been a few years now. And, I like being around the guys. The rest of the coaches are great, so I'm hoping to have a good year this year. Eisner will have to confirm or tell you if that's not the case, but, I think effort and attitude goes a long way. You get that squared away, the little things, and everything else will fall in place. So if we can get everybody on the same page, we'll have a good year.
Talk a little bit about your DBs. You're running back and DB coach, correct?
Yeah, so DB, I'm gonna go a different route than everybody else will go on the first one. I'm gonna say Corday Pope has been impressive this year so far in the scrimmages. He's got a lot of speed, and I think he'll do big things this year. Kobe, obviously, we're not gonna go over Kobe. Everybody goes over Kobe. He's a great athlete. And then on the other side, you got Unger, you got Phoenix McDonald. I think those guys are good, and they'll get there.
Coach Clayton mentioned wanting to roll maybe a 2 deep through on the defensive line. Will you try to do something similar in the DBs, or will you basically have like your 3 or 4 guys that you use?
Yeah, I think we're sitting about 3 or 4, maybe a 5th guy right now. I don't want to give away too much, Other guys are watching too. We'll have somebody in place.
All right, talk about your running backs now. We'll get
The running backs.
For a little while. Returning a pretty solid stable of running backs this year.
Yeah, we got a good set of running backs there. The triple threat, as I would like to refer to them. You got Cooper, Coker, and Rainey. Hopefully, Rainey will be back soon. But I think they complement each other pretty well. You got different running styles, but they all run fast. They all got good footwork. I think we'll be pretty squared away there. If Coach Farr and Coach Clayton get the line squared away, then we'll be good to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Coach White.
With you having 3 real quality running backs, have you tried to get Coach Heiser to implement more like a wishbone style offense?
You know, he's talked about it a whole lot, and that's really where he would like to go. He didn't hear you. No, I don't think that's going to happen. We do have a set though where they're all in there, so they'll all see the ball, and we all right.
How important is your depth at running back? You got 3 guys. How, just looking at a Friday night, how would you hope to utilize those? Would it be perfectly even reps or?
You know, I don't know that it'll be a set number of reps for each person, but, you know, being a 2A school, we don't have, 15 guys waiting in line. So as long as someone's in there with fresh legs, ready to go, and then
Feed
they'll,
the hot hand,
yeah, we'll
so
feed
to
the
speak.
hot hand, and whatever Coach Eiser says, I guess we'll go with that.
Wishbone.
Wishbone, yeah. Big fan.
That's all I've got.
All right, hey, I'm glad to be here. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach Charlie.
All right,
You're back up.
Somebody would bait us like that.
wrap it up.
I was hoping somebody would bring us there.
Any further questions?
Talk a little bit about your offense now. What's your, does your offensive scheme change much this year, based on different personnel?
I wouldn't say the scheme changes. You know, maybe the play calling, I guess, a little bit changes, but you know, we're still gonna run what we do. You know, either way we go at quarterback, and again, I'm not giving y'all anything, but either way we go, it's gonna be a first year starter. So you know, my job is to kind of take care of them, and kind of build the offense, if you will, around them and around this team. But in terms of scheme, you know, our scheme's not going to change. I would say the only change, and I don't want to give this away, but the only change is I moved Kobe around a lot. I mean, that's really it. But you're going to see, you know, you're going to see the same offense we've had for the last, how many years? 4 years here. You know, we're going to be fast paced when we can. We're going to slow it down if we need to. We're going to spread them out. We're going to smash them out. You know, we're going to do a little bit of everything. But the scheme, I would say no. The play calling, yes, a little bit. It's a great question.
So on a typical Friday night, you probably got your original script for the game. How often do you, or how soon do you typically deviate from the script?
I mean, every game is different. You know, most of the time what I do, I kind of script the first 10. It's kind of my thing, you know, your first 10 plays, depending on where you're at and what's going on. And then I've kind of, I don't actually script this, but I've kind of got in my mind, is there something I want to save for the second half, or is there something I need to see early on that's going to affect something I call in the second quarter, if you will. You know, so something like that. But that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I would say you stick to your script most of the time, unless something just kind of something just kind of creates chaos to that. Because going off of that, a lot of my script comes from watching the other team. You know, what I think is going to be successful and stuff like that, and what I've seen in practice that we've done well for that week against that look or whatever. So, you know, for the most part, I would like to stick with that. But I mean, we all know that that's best case scenario, and that's not real life. But I would say if you do stick to your script, you're probably pretty successful each game.
Have you ever looked back at a Friday night and said, this was my script and I stuck to all 10 of the first plays?
I ain't never really thought about it after like that. I would go out on a limb and say no. I bet I've never ran all 10 of the 10 that I've got scripted, you know, as is, I would say. And it's hard, you know. There may be somebody out there, I'm sure there's somebody out there that does it a lot better, but what's hard is, you know, you script it kind of what you think is going to happen, but then you get, we get sacked on first down and 2nd and 15. Well, that throws off everything. Or you get 35 on the first play and it's like, okay, well, I don't need my 2nd and 4 call or 2nd and 6 call. You know what I mean? So that's the hardest thing, I think. But yeah, I would say I've probably never went 10 for 10 if I had to guess. I don't think there's really no way I could. Yeah, probably not. So, and I don't know, right or wrong, I kind of go sometimes with my gut in terms of that. You kind of see what's working, you kind of trust some players, and then you just kind of go with your gut sometimes. That's I think that's probably the funnest thing about play calling. Is that right there? Just it's so instant, like we just reel off a big run and it's like, all right, we got to get that next one, and it's kind of like a little rush of finding that next play that's going to be successful too. Or you get sacked and now it's a challenge. It's 2nd and 16. Now can I get a first down out of this drive? I think that's the beauty of play calling, if you will.
Is there anything different don't want you to give course, but is there anything different that fans can expect this year?
Any trick play?
Yeah. There's a bunch of them. No, I think you're going to see, hopefully what you've come to expect, that we're going to play hard until the whistle's blown, whether we're up by 20 or down by 20. I think as a coach, that's the biggest thing that I look for, is not too high, not too low. And can we sustain that for 4 quarters? And that's the key. We talk a lot. We take a lot of pride in being in better shape than everybody. And I will say I think this bunch as a whole standpoint is probably at this time right now in better shape than we were last year as a team. And that's kind of the same thing. That's a testament to what we did last year, kind of building off of that. Even our O-line, those big hog mollies down there, and they're pulling those darn sprints, and I think they're in pretty good shape. Y'all may correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel good about that. And that's going to be a big deal, especially tomorrow and next week.
You talked about having first-year quarterback, regardless who you go with. How do you balance taking care of the football while still creating explosive plays?
I think that's the biggest thing. Quarterbacks got to understand we've got to take care of the football. You're not going to win many games at all if you've thrown a couple picks or if you fumble the football or anything like that and give the other team short yardage. It's just not going to happen. So I think that's the biggest selling point right now for both of those guys, is we've got to make sure that we protect the football. And if we can't do that, that's going to make me want to play the other one. I'm just going to be honest with you. But we're still going to try to create explosives. That's my job, I feel like. So we're not going to play scared, if that answers your question.
That's 30 minutes.
I do got one more thing. It's more of the head coaching part of it. You've got 2 guys that played for you for 4 years, back as GAs. How does that make you feel to know that you guys want to still be a part of the program?
Yeah, that's I don't talk about that part of it a lot. You guys know that, but that means a whole lot to me. The biggest thing, and I talk about this at school a lot. The biggest thing that I hope I do is make an impact on somebody's life in the 1 year I got them, 2 years or 4 years, whatever. And the fact that those guys, and everybody knows it, they don't get paid. They come out here because, first off, they love Lewis County, and they think enough of me to keep me yelling at them, I guess. But that, to me, that means the world, And it's cool. McDonald's sitting in here, Kofar, he just got up and left, but McDonald played quarterback for me. And he and I, probably more than anybody that I've coached so far, he and I think the same, which is kind of neat to do, because I can just tell him something and let him go, and I see the results. And so that's kind of awesome. But it also shows, for both of those guys, what Lewis County truly meant to them. And they took pride. I know now for sure they took pride in those 4 years. It meant something to them because they're back here giving everything they've got. So that's pretty neat to see. And I would encourage more people to come out. I would love to have any of them. Those two guys, they got the hardest job on our staff. They truly do. You guys know it. I mean, it's hard. It's hard getting up and grinding every day as it is. And those guys ain't getting paid anything. They do it because they love it. And that's pretty awesome to see. And our kids are better because we've got those two guys around. And that's the truth. And that's a great question.
That's all I got, Coach.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much. Once again, I would like everybody to, if you can, if you're able, come out tomorrow night to our jamboree. Like they said earlier, I know we ain't hosted one in a long, long time. I know that we hadn't played in one up until the last few years in a long, long time. So it may or may not be the first one ever here. I don't know. Somebody out there knows, and somebody y'all let us know. But either way, this is something that we want to do every year. I think we've got some of the best facilities around, and I think that's what we want to do, and I think that's what we're going to do. But you know, one thing that does go into that is a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and I can't thank everybody, but already, you know, we had two ladies go pick up all kinds of food today for the concession stand. I've had Coach Scott. He's been running errands all week for me, getting things ready. Same thing for that concession stand. And then all of my coaches, they've been working literally around the clock to getting the field ready today, getting the concessions ready, getting all the food out of cars and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of work goes into that. So I encourage everybody to come out and kind of see how that goes and join us for our first jamboree hosting in a long time and hopefully annually. And I think it's going to be great. We've got at 6 o'clock, our JV team will play. At 7 o'clock, we'll have varsity Waynesboro Richland and CA. And then at 8 o'clock, our varsity will play. So it's going to be a great night. Everybody come out and support, and I think we'll enjoy it together. Thank you, guys.